Hello, everyone. I'm going to kind of go off the subject, I guess, or I was going to say path, but that don't sound right. um, kind of have a different subject that I want to discuss tonight. And there's a reason behind this. Uh, I don't know how many of you have had or heard of people having a near death experience, or an NDE, as it's also called. I have my thoughts and my theories on it, but I'm just like anybody else. That's something that we don't know about. Now, of course, you can I guess you can make anything up that you would want, or anything that makes sense to you. I try to use scientific and uh, personal thoughts, kind of merge them together and see what makes sense to me. Um, I guess this came about, me thinking about this, because the video that I made the other night about always talking about religion, and that a lot of people, think that religion was created just so mankind isn't afraid of death, which, you know, I think everybody is. They may say they're not, and they may not be, but I think it's I think it's more of how the process, the transfer from, I'll just say, this realm to another, um, if there is indeed another. Now, as far as the witches go, most of us believe in a Summerland, depending on, I mean, um, well, just depending on what they believe. There's Summerland. Some believe that you will, become an orb of some sort, um, of just pure consciousness, that you return to being a part of the universe. Um, there's so many different beliefs and theories that, and the truth is, as I've said before, not um, no one's going to know until they get there. Um, Now, the near death experiences, and I think I've said this before, and I'm not trying to debunk I'm sure that they've seen them, but the scientific part of me kind of at times in my world clashes with the mystical side of me. Um, my witchy self is saying, well, there's no way that you can say they didn't experience that. Look what you've experienced. I mean, a lot of people don't believe in astral travel. Um, they don't think it can happen. Well, I know for a fact it can and does. Um, maybe the death of this body is what I like to call it. I mean, because the way that society thinks of death, it's so final. Instead of a new beginning, everybody just thinks ending. Well, it is. It's an ending of something and a beginning of something else. I mean, something has to end before something else begins, right? Um, I don't know. This subject you could talk about it for hours, and I don't think ever come to what I would call a logical solution. It would still come down to how people believe. And I'm pretty sure, that's where religion, especially the Christian religion, came in. Because people were and are afraid of death. Um, that is definitely one thing we know nothing about. You can't figure it out either. Hey, Lady Blind Wolf, I'm on a death subject tonight. But yeah, they won't figure it out until they get to that side. This is why when you talk to these spirits and uh, do your divination and what have you, when you're conversing with the spirits, or say a spirit box, you have one of them on, and even if you ask them, what it's like, most of them will say that it's cold and dark. Well, to me, that's not really, not very comforting. um, to think that I'm going to spend the rest of eternity in darkness and being cold, which I don't see cold. I don't know how they could feel cold when they no longer have a body and, feelings to feel it. Maybe it's a different kind of cold. Feeling in a dark mood myself. Are you? I don't know what made me think of this. Now I had been watching uh, a lot of I watch a lot of different stuff on YouTube. I watch professors, do lectures and um, listen to them while I'm cooking or cleaning or whatever. And um, I had been listening to one talking about this subject, and I thought, well, I'm going to, do a video about that and see what some of my other witches think. But I mean, and you hear in like the near death experiences, you know, um, I think I have said on this, I think I haven't done a video specifically about this, but I think I have mentioned that my theory, when they're seeing the infamous lighted tunnel or going through, all this light, I honestly believe that that's when when the brain is shutting down, uh, kind of shorten out. And of course, your eyes are up in there, so they're going to see it. So um, that may be, the last thing that you per se see as you're passing on. I don't know. And then there's been some people that have had the entire experience where they go off and see one of their loved ones, and their loved one tells them, it's not your time. You need to go back. And poof, bam, you wake up back in your body again. Um, and then they have their stories to tell. They mean like pickling, like when your foot falls asleep. What? uh, they mean like pickling, like when your foot falls asleep. Well, I'm blind anyway, so it's not like it would affect me all that much. Lady Blind Wolf, well, you are in a dark mood, aren't you? Well, if it's true what they say, you won't be blind in the afterlife. But I seriously think that that's the only thing, that human, not many people can actually say and be truthful, say that they're not afraid of death. If if nothing else, then the way they're going to transfer, the trip, how the trip starts. A lot of people, I think, are more afraid of how they're going to die than when, or what's after. Prickly. Oh, so your foot's asleep. But I mean, it's a kind of an interesting subject. The people that um, have died and come back, like I said, some of the stories that they tell about what they've experienced, and that they've seen their loved ones. I don't know. I know you know how you feel that prickling in your foot when it gets too cold. Maybe that's what they mean. Well, I won't be driving. Woo! To the afterlife. Oh my. Yeah, you're in rare form tonight, aren't you? That's funny. I won't be driving. You might be. They might have golden chariots up there, or wherever we're going. Most witches say Summerland, where it's pretty all year round. There is no seasons. It's just pretty. Remember, I set the fire alarm off the other day. Not a smoke alarm, Virgin. Yeah, I remember. But I mean, it makes you wonder. I mean, and it could really scare you though if you stop and really think about it. I mean, it can make you unfunctionable almost. I mean, it make you afraid to do anything, go anywhere. I think that's where a lot of phobias set in. Agoraphobia and all that stuff. I don't think it's so much being dead that bothers me. Like I said, it's how. You know, I don't know, but there's so many different versions, and religion comes into a lot of it, and um, it's just a subject you could talk about forever and ever and ever. And it's so final. You know, I mean, once you're actually gone, you're gone from here anyway, from this realm. And then you've got the ones that think that we return to the stars, which may be another where Summerland is. Who knows? You know, maybe that's where the Anunnaki and um, the other two, whatever they are, I don't remember what they are right now. The star seeds, people that believe in them, and that's what we came from and where we go back to. Um, I don't know. I mean, I know for sure that this encasement that we're in right now, you won't have that. I mean, you may go into another form of some sort. You may not need one at all. But it's an interesting subject, although dark and morbid. But I'll tell you what, I think that's what started a lot of my panic and anxiety attacks. Because they started right after, when I was a teenager, one of my boyfriends got killed right across the street from my house, um, in a church parking lot on a motorcycle. And he ran into the big old light pole that was out in front of the church parking lot, and he killed him. And he was the first deceased person that I had seen, so kind of screwed me up. Hey, Aiden. Really? Well, see, you're just the one I need to talk to then. Oh, well, that was a long time ago, but it was just my first actual experience with death, and it kind of freaked me out. I was only 16, 15, 16. So, and Aiden, that's what I was going to say. A lot of people um, say that they come back a whole different being, a whole different person. That's what this, I was, what made me do this video is I was sitting here watching a professor online, and he was talking about it. And a lot of people come back just, uh, well, a whole different mind frame. I know my dad still hung around after he passed. Yeah. Well, and then you think about us being witches. And Aiden, if you want to tell me about it, I'd love to hear about it. If you don't, that's okay too. I understand. That thing's kind of personal. Aiden, darling, I die and come back to every day. It's just sleep. Yeah, there's a lot of theories that people believe that you actually, and we call it astral traveling. So we can't say that that don't happen, that you don't leave your body while you sleep. It's just some may not come back, the ones that actually die in their sleep. I was in a really shit mood for weeks until the NDE happened. Afterwards, it was like this weight had been lifted off my shoulders, like all these bad events had been building up to it. Yeah, wow, Aiden. Got two Aidens on here. And where have you been, Aiden, darling? Me and Lady Blonde Wolf wonder where you've been. So, Aiden Warren, now you just feel better all the way around. Like, I mean, how did that help you with your life now? So do you feel like there's actually something out there then? Motivated, happy, great. You feel more like this life isn't just blah, why are we even here? There's no purpose, we're here and then we die and we rot in the ground. So now that you have confirmation that there's something on the other side, it makes this life make more sense. Am I correct? I mean, that's how, I might feel. I've had a lot of dreams, odd dreams that need to work for on dreams. Yeah, I've had a lot of dreams where I've traveled and talked to my loved ones that are gone. Um, Sometimes I wake up really sad. Sometimes I wake up and I'm real happy. I don't know. Well, I didn't get to the point of seeing anything on the other side, but it was still a very transcendental experience. Yeah. Well, maybe it was a type of cleansing then, you think, Aiden, Warren? There's another Aiden on here, so I have to say last name. Definitely. Yeah. I don't know. The best way to describe it. Yeah. Well, I died um, when I had my heart attack. Um, I flatlined. And I mean, I was gone, but I didn't see anything. Maybe I wasn't gone long enough. I don't know, but I didn't see anything at all. Experiences where they died and came back with all kinds. Yeah, I've heard of those too. Experiences where they died and came back with all kinds. Yeah, I've heard of those too. And see, me, the scientific part of me, even though I'm a witch, things still have to happen in certain ways. So I'm trying to figure out what scientifically could happen to make something like that happen. And I think my hypothesis would be that it's in the brain. Something is triggered in the brain, and it's all of a sudden just like an absolute knowing. Like you, before you died, you couldn't play an instrument. When you come back, all of a sudden you can play piano like Liberace. There's interesting studies that say the brain produces a DMT-like substance at the moment, just before brain death. Right. And in one other video, because I'm in the medical field, and I've always believed that when people say they see bright lights or like they're going through a bright tunnel real fast, that is just all their brain activity shorting out, and your eyeballs are right up there in your head, so you're actually seeing it. You're seeing it all go on. I don't know. But, like I said, witches, we believe in all kinds of different things. Oh, and it could be that you're moving at the speed of light, and I don't know. And maybe that's why people see that sort of thing. I've just been almost completely unplugged from the internet because the pandemic has been crushing my mental health. I've just been refusing a lot of help. Why, Aiden? Darling? Why? Use this time to work on your craft, sweetheart. Study. If you're at home by yourself, do practice, practice, practice. You love doing your work. That's even a better time to make more videos. I don't want you to sit there and be depressed. Personally, I believe if you do wrong and you don't atone for it in this life, when you transition, it'll get you the next one. Yeah, probably so. I personally can't believe that evil people don't suffer for their actions in that next life or in that transition state. They suffer. Yeah, it makes you wonder about that, doesn't it? When that takes place, and just how bad of a person do you have to be? And that depends on which religion you listen to. You know, I feel that influence from other people only makes things worse. So I've been channeling a lot more fairy spirit energy. Yeah, joke. Never threaten your own life. It's precious. I'll be in my cave and come out when I'm ready. Well, you can still come out and talk to me, you little brat. We worry about you in this community. You know that. Winter is tough like that. Hibernation is understandable. Yeah, Aiden Warren, you're right. And I think even humans in their own little way kind of hibernate too. You don't go out as much, that's for sure. I was just talking about that last night. I have seasonal depression, and sometimes it's worse than others certain years. But I mean, I find that I have to strive harder just to get up out of bed, do my hair, put on my face, go to work, whatever I have to do. It's harder for me to do it. I think mainly because I don't like cold. Cold makes me hurt, and I feel blah during the wintertime. It's exactly my issue, but I'm focusing more on shadow work and meditations. Yeah, that's what I was saying the other night, Lady Blind Wolf. Now's the perfect time. Wintertime is an excellent time to do shadow work on spells that you haven't had time for. This pandemic, between winter and everybody being secluded anyway, now's an excellent time to do things, to work on your craft, to grow in your craft, to read. Read books that you've been wanting to read or study on and haven't had the chance. Crafting, you know, um, and of course, there's always the internet. But it's been also said that evil people in transition, they choose to stay here in spirit state, causing havoc. Yeah, but I don't understand. It's not so easily answered with me. I mean, everybody says, but you're a witch, you have to believe in ghosts. No, I don't. No, I don't. Um, I don't guess people, ghosts to me just seem so stereotypical. Um, I do believe that there is a parallel existence, uh, and that some of them choose to remain there. Why they're allowed to do so, I don't know. It could be what certain religions would call purgatory. Um, Maybe that's what they mean by that. It's the place in between. Um, I don't know. I can't answer that. So, but why they would be allowed to cause havoc. Now, um, it could be a test between the one world and the one realm and the other. I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to begin to explain that. Why they're even allowed to uh, wreak havoc, you know, with the per se living world. Yeah, I got diagnosed with seasonal affective disorder, so I've been getting up there with vitamin D, and it's helped somewhat. Normally, I sleep all the time through the winter, but it seems like, yeah, I know I'm not very good during the winter either, but um, like coming on here and talking to y'all helps me, or just doing a video. Sometimes they're really stupid, or I feel like they're stupid, but I feel productive. I think the best I can do is just keep myself surrounded by people that care about me. The problem is knowing the difference between friends and enablers. Well, I'll tell you a real quick way to know that, Aiden, darling, and that is if you go to a true friend and you're um, whatever, telling them this and that, and they're just the ones that are your true friends will tell you, stop it, get out of that. You're better than that. They're not going to go along with it for you. They're not, I mean, they're going to listen, they're going to have empathy, but the people that really care about you are going to try to pull you up and yank you up if they have to, because depression is a serious thing, and you know that. And depression can lead to other really bad, serious things, and we don't want that. There's always something um, that you can do or think about to change that mood. If it's a chemical imbalance, take something. There's always some way to deal with it. That's productive and effective. More energetic, but it could be with all the stuff we have going on with the veil being so thin and all this planet. Yeah, it could be, Lady Blumwell. I've recently been drawn to the idea of the nirvana cycle, but it feels strange, maybe inappropriate, incorporating it into Western witchcraft. Aiden Warren, you can do anything you want. Whatever makes sense to you, it's your path, it's your craft. It doesn't have to make sense to everybody else. Seems like I'm picking up everyone's energies and all the negativity, and it just makes me more depressed or more restless. Yeah, Lady Von Wolf, unfortunately, most witches are empathic in some way or another, or to some extent, some way more than others. That's why you have to put up your shields. Not setting off fire alarms. Stop setting off fire alarms. Spell work. I have been doing. The energy feels so strong. I had to back away from it more than once. Yeah, I've had to do that a few times on certain spells. And man, what did I feel like crap for a couple of days afterwards too. Ooh. Headache, nausea. I just didn't want to do anything. I wanted bed, and that was it. But yeah, and as far as this death thing goes, I mean, and people also believes we came from. Some people believe we came from the stars. You have, like I said at the first of the video, the Anunnaki and the star seeds that evidently some people believe that we're all um, that we all came from. spell hangover is so real. Is there a different term for it though? I don't know. I don't think so, Aiden Warren. In fact, that's the best way I can describe it. I mean, you're just drained. All your energy's drained, and you use so much energy and all that you're just bleh. I mean, that's some pretty heavy duty work to do for such a not, I won't say our bodies are weak because they're not by no means. In fact, they're very, very well designed. But for that kind of power, um, it's pretty rough to go through. I mean, it's like getting in a rocket ship, and going through all them G's whenever you go out of the stratosphere. It ain't gonna kill you, but you're not. It don't feel very good. So, but yeah, I thought I'd come on here and ask y'all about that. What y'all thought about, or what your, of course, I would say probably at least 99% or 98% of people watch my channel are witches, so they probably believe somewhere around in the same areas that I do anyway, if not just like I do. But I was just curious what y'all. I mean, I had a heart attack, and like I said, I died, and I didn't feel anything, but or didn't see anything is what I meant to say. When I had my first child, I had to have a C-section, and I had a very weird experience with that. I mean, I wasn't there at all, and then I could hear. First thing I remember is hearing my mother's voice, and it was like all of a sudden I was there. I didn't. It was really weird. Everything was extremely dark, but I was there, and then just not even a half a second after that, it felt like I was being sucked back through some sort of portal. I was just being sucked backwards, and boom, I woke up all at once. I'm in back in my body. It's like that Great Conjunction article that I sent you. That's a major planetary event. But we've had a lot of those. Yeah, we have. This year's been really active as far as moons and astrological events and eclipses, and we've had all kinds of stuff this year. It's no wonder this pandemic's floating around. My best friend's older brother was born in a C-section. Their mother said she had an out-of-body experience during it. Yeah. I mean, and it could have been, what sometimes the anesthesia will do that stuff to you, but I don't know. I know something went on there because I remember that one, but when I was actually dead, no heartbeat, I didn't see or feel or hear anything until I actually woke back up and, on the table, and there's a nurse right in my face. But I was talking to my daughter about that, and she's like, "Mom, I think it's maybe just because you wasn't gone that long," and I wasn't. I mean, I was probably gone maybe a minute, 2 minutes tops, long enough for the person that was in the room with me to run out and scream nurse, and here they come running. So I don't know. But I don't think it's so much too I mean, because I mean, at the very least, you just die and you don't exist anymore, right? I mean, truly, if there really isn't anything on the other side, in another, if there's no other realms, this is all there is. Um, and this body dies, you just cease to exist. I mean, that's at the very least what could go on. So therefore, you're not going to know, feel, or you just nothing. There, you are nothing anymore. But they say that your soul leaves your body when you sleep, like when you wake up and you feel like you're falling and you hit something. Yeah, Lady Mom. Well, that's what I was going to say a minute ago when I lost my train of thought. What if when you sleep every night, and in the medical field, in one of my books, I forget what class it was. I don't remember. So I'm not going to say it because I don't have anything to back it up. And I don't want, if somebody says, no, that's not right, then I want to be able to back it up. And right now I don't have that information in front of me to do so. But also they say, like, when you sneeze, that's as close as your body comes to dying without dying. I mean, that's just, I don't, that's an old wives' tale or whatever, but yeah, they say too that if you're falling in your dream, I mean, most of the time you'll wake up before you hit, but if you actually hit in your dream, then you actually die in real life. But that's hearsay too. Personally, I think it's unlikely that there's a realm of punishment. You think not? Like if the spirit leaves to anywhere at all, I can't imagine whatever divine forces are out there deciding eternal punishment. Torture is really worth the effort. Yeah, maybe not, or maybe they just don't get to be, maybe they're just doomed to roam around, wander wondrously, one no specific place to go, nothing, no comfort as far as a spirit would consider comfort. I mean, like the witches, we when we say Summerland, what do you envision? You envision a big, beautiful garden, with pretty trees and all these beautiful, colorful flowers, and everything smells good, and um, beautiful water, and um, all that stuff. It depends on what your mind thinks that garden or that land might look like. Um, so if you were a bad person, maybe you don't get to have those experiences. Maybe you are doomed to wander around aimlessly and, um, you know, cold all the time. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an optimist. Well, and that's true, Aiden, but what would be what I think, and as anything else, parents, I mean, there's all kinds of stories that parents used to tell their children to make them behave. There's one about, oh, what's that witch's name that name? But when you see any stories about her, there's usually a picture of a house with chicken legs on it. It's a house built on top of chicken legs. I'll think of it after I'm done, I guess. I don't know. Or I'm not going to hell. I've lived there for 20 years. Lady Blind Wolf, you are definitely in a mood tonight, ain't you? With no idiots, politicians, or assholes. Oh, I also love that school of thought. this existence is some sort of torturous trial test. It's kind of why I like the Nirvana cycle. You can fail the test, but you just try again instead of damnation. Oh, Baba Yaga's hat. Yes, that's Baba Yaga. That's who I was thinking of. They used to threaten their kids with her, saying if they didn't behave, she'd come steal them away in the middle of the night. Well, and that's what I was thinking, that may be where, let's just say, for an instance, maybe purgatory, if there is reincarnation, maybe purgatory is where you go to sit and wait on your next incarnation, your next body to inhabit, your next existence. And you have to keep going through this until you get it right, until you act right or do whatever that, is expected of you. That's what I'm saying. You could think all kinds of stuff about this subject. It's interesting to me to know what everybody else thinks about it because, I mean, I'm a serious believer, and that's why religion was even thought up, because man has been thinking about death since the first death was experienced, I'm sure. Since that first caveman died and his family kept probably poking him with sticks, like, why ain't you waking up? Wake up. Now tell him how long they left him laying there before he started smelling. I mean, they had never seen it before. They didn't know what was happening or what went on. Just like a Lorna, kids didn't, yeah, keep their butts in bed and obey. You should come take them. And serious, they will believe that their children get stolen and replaced with fairies. Yeah, yeah. I think it's more about filling your soul's purpose, and you get to choose what that purpose is. Yeah, yeah. That's what a lot of witches believe, that you're given certain choices before you're put into a body, incarnated onto this earth. Um, you make those before you come here. You make that choice. But the really bad part about it is you don't remember what it is. I mean, everything's brand new. You don't remember anything from before or anything. I mean, I like to think we are all the God mind, one spirit recycled through both space and time, reincarnation transcending linear time in what we see as a paradox. And reborn in 1600. Right. So you think that we just keep living and living and living forever and ever? Just, in other words, we just keep being reincarnated? Could be. I don't know. Until all the laws are spent in a certain order, and then alignment is reached. I've never heard that hypothesis before. You mean how many lives were allowed? Kind of like a cat supposedly has 9 lives. Huh. Well, human history will eventually end. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's gonna end. My belief is that we'll keep evolving. And I also don't believe that these other planets are just sitting out there for us to research. I think that they have a purpose. That we know they have a purpose. Let me rephrase that. Who's to say that the next time the world, I mean, because the way mankind is going, we're probably going to destroy this one we live on anyway, because we're the most ignorant creatures God, uh, the gods could have ever put here to control it. But who knows? Who's to say that the next planet, that is inhabited might be Mars, the next one in line in the solar system, or the one right behind us. I don't know. I mean, this would be something really interesting to write a book about if one was literally inclined. Once a spirit has lived every human life and contemplated between them in purgatory, they will know the purpose of their existence. And then what? Well, what happens after they learn the purpose of their existence? What do they go back to being then, or they no longer exist? I mean, what is the purpose of all of it? And it moves to something higher that we can't comprehend it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, we just have this one small, well, it's actually very vast, but as far as creation and time go, it's just a small part. Our galaxy, even, it's just a very small part of space and time. There's no telling what could happen, what will happen. You know, this Earth has been around a very long time. We've inhabited it, quite a long time. I don't know. It's just a really interesting subject for me to, I don't know. Apparently, she was a witch and chose to be with the man she wanted to be with and sacrificed her path and something about 2 children that died. Who, Lady Blind Wolf? Baba Yaga? I know she was the devourer of children, supposedly. Aside from the fact that my ancestors told me that I need to get like. Oh, Lady Blind Wolf. Even if our NDEs are divine transcendent, I doubt it scratches the surface. Right. Yeah, you're right there, Aiden. Yeah, I mean, it may be just showing us little glimpses so we don't live this entire life in fear of dying, of death. Yeah, you got to watch her. She's in rare form tonight, Aiden Warren. Or it could have been inhabited, or it could have been inhabited and moved to this one. Yeah, that's true. I think something much more spiritually nefarious is going on with the people in power. Yeah, Aiden, darling, why do you think that? You're not one of these that believe the Antichrist is about to take over, are you? I doubt that they're aware of it, but agreed. Yeah, things are, I mean, anybody that has any kind of smarts and sense to them at all will know and realize this world, there's something going on at the moment or about to really happen, and it's kind of scary. I mean, there's just too much happening all at once. This whole year, has been a little odd with planetary alignments. We've had so many super moons, just the way the stars are acting, the planets are acting, this pandemic, um, just there's all kinds of stuff. That's why here lately on most all my videos, I've been telling y'all, um, all us witches need to get to work and do our actual jobs. I mean, our jobs are way more important and run a lot deeper than just sitting around casting spells and doing things for other people. We've got an earth to take care of. What about people that were or are couples and were together in past lives and also karmic relationships? I don't know, Lady Blonde Wolf. I don't know. It would seem kind of odd that, I mean, even in another life that you would be paired up with the exact same individual that you were with before, unless you're soul partners in specific journeys. I don't know where they were together and one made a mistake, so they go to this world and learn and go through the experience. I don't know. I tend to believe, Lady Blind Wolf, that we aren't paired like that. I believe that it's each individual's own journey. That nobody else. I mean, you're going to experience relationships and what have you on each journey, but I don't think that it's per se set in the stars that you're with this one individual forever. Here in every travel and everything you do. I don't even, that would not be a learning experience. It wouldn't be, I don't know, it just don't make sense to me. Not saying it couldn't be what's going on, but it just don't make any sense to me why that would even be in play. Because the whole purpose is that, you experience different things. The best way I can describe it is I think it has something to do with alien DNA. It's freaky and odd if you think the way that I do. Aiden, are you one of them ones that believe in the aliens? Now, the aliens per se may be the Anunnaki and the other two star tribes. Who knows? I mean, you were together in your past life and you did something wrong to the person, and now, and try to fix the mistake or make new mistakes. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I don't think that would be fair, though. I don't know. Because what if they don't fix them? Then that other person that didn't do any of it is suffering through another life just to get that person to act right so that they can move on to the next whatever. I don't think that the other person that they're with would have to suffer through with them again. Or it wouldn't be fair if they did. An ancestral tarot read I did on my channel. Oh, already did, and he is orange. I don't know what that means. Already did, and he is orange. You lost me there. I also think that the one world order stuff is very real and very scary. Yeah. Now that's a lot easier to explain and expect than what's going to happen after this earth and with us and blah blah blah. That one world order, if there is a so-called antichrist, I believe that's what that would be about. One person will rule the entire world. I also think the full moon. That's Alan. Lady Blonde Wolf, you have lost me. Are you talking about your tarot spread you did? Because you have completely lost me. Yeah, and what's funny, or not funny, but a lot of these sci-fi movies, if you watch some of them from way back when, some of that shit has really happened, you guys. It really has. And now everybody's on this zombie kick. When the zombie movies started coming out, and I used to say that, oh, I hate to even say it out loud, but who's to say that the next virus that attacks us may not be some sort of thing that pretty much turns you into a zombie? A lot of these sci-fi things have come true. No, remember we had that full moon there. Oh, yeah. And it was some type of lunar. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah. It was a super moon. Yeah. This one will be the long night's moon. Wow. Which has everything to do with the winter solstice that, will take place on the 21st. But it had been 80 years since we had a full moon near right. Well, a full moon like that, I think. I'll figure it out. I'll find out what it was about. Find my books. Whew. I just got a hot flash. But yeah, you just us as human beings, as smart and intelligent as we are, we're not really all that smart and intelligent. I mean, as far as the universe and we're getting smarter. As we evolve, as mankind itself evolves, we are getting smarter, or should I say, more informed. We know so much more than we did just 100 years ago. I mean, and it's going to keep being that way as long as mankind's here, because that's what we do. We don't ever stop evolving or learning or pushing that envelope, Um, we're too curious of creatures to just accept things for the way they are. We want to know why and how and all that good stuff. So I don't know. Put that up for a minute. I'm about to burn up over here. Hot flash. And this great conjunction yeah, that's what's kind of odd right there. That's going to be yeah, that's going to be a wild one. I got to head out. Need to fix my sleep schedule for finals next week. Thanks for the chat. Keep up the work with your videos. Okay, Aiden. Thank you for visiting. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I can't explain. I don't know everything by no means. So, you can have theories and guess at things, I don't know. I got this new incense today that I am going to try. It's called Gucci Top. Let's see what it smells like. And I got one called Black Rain. Personally, I know that the veil was really thin. It's but I feel that during this pandemic it stayed thin. Of all the people dying. And we've clearly had a lot of spiritual shifts, and a lot of us are feeling it. Makes you wonder what the kids that were born during this time were going to be like. Yeah, that's true. Lady Blind Wolf. You just never know what's coming. That's what's kind of frightening. Even Nostradamus, used to a lot of the stuff that he predicted has come true. And now these pandemics and these viruses, this is not the first time. That stuff has been happening since the Bible was written. And probably, I'm sure, as soon as the world was created, those germs started, that's just part of it, there probably just wasn't any documentation that far back, and there wasn't that many people on the earth, since documentation began as far back as we can research. Every so often, there's a pandemic that hits, or an epidemic, that gets rid of a whole lot of people. Some people believe that it's just part of population control. I believe that it's just there's always little bugs and everything else growing in the earth that are trying, like everything else on this earth, to survive and overtake. What do you think about 9/11? You think it might have been an inside job? No, I don't. I think at that time, the Middle East was already mad at us. We had a war that let's see, Desert Storm started in 1990, and it went on as far as the all the documentation and everything for years and years. And in reality, I don't know that for sure even today that we've actually moved all of our soldiers and equipment out of there. I haven't kept up with it in a long time, but no, I'm pretty sure that that was their feeble attempt to take over the United States. I really do. I really do think that it was too well orchestrated, or they thought. Um, just the way they strategically put each, where each plane was, and I don't know. I mean, there were all them conspiracy theories about our government had something to do with it, that we had a spy in our government that gave them information, and I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I would say I don't believe that, but you never know. I mean, you never know. I don't personally feel that that had anything to do with it. I'm sure it was just just that country that was pissed off at us, thought they could overthrow us. Um, and in all actuality, um, they actually do and did do have a lot of very, very powerful bombs, which last I heard, when I stopped actually watching it and learning about it all the time, it was something being said that we were going to go over there and make them disarm. I don't know if we ever did. Personally, I feel like this whole thing was engineered. Mother Earth will population control, but simply eugenics. Yeah, that I've always believed that way. Well, the thing is, we don't. They One of them, I can't remember which one, actually got a threatening note or something stating that on a certain day something was gonna happen. They didn't say what, who it was, or whatever, and I think it was an anonymous note. But I mean, it's kind of hard to do anything about it. And it wasn't very long, not a whole, a long time after the shit happened with Timothy McVeigh here in Oklahoma City. So, because at first they thought that was a terrorist attack, but come to find out it was one of our own, which was a terrorist attack. But when we think terrorist, we think of a foreign individual that comes over here on our turf and, wreaks havoc. But this was one of our own, which is the worst kind of, you know, um, the worst kind of person. I mean, you shouldn't be doing that to anyone, but just, and the idiot didn't even kill the people he intended on killing. He killed a bunch of kids, children, babies. Yeah, that Merle bombing was absolutely horrible. It was horrific. And then on the when 9/11 hit, my brother was still alive at the time. My oldest little brother, um, he was in negotiations in the Air Force, and so he was in the air a lot of the time. And he was on one of them planes, and I'll never forget it because I was off work that day. And usually my first day of work, I would what I call general clean my house. That's when I did all my dusting, cleaned my bathrooms, um, you know, uh, vacuumed, all that stuff, dusted, cleaned my windows. And so normally, I'd have my TV off and I'd have my stereo on with the music playing and clean. into my music. Well, I get this phone call um, from, well, no, first I hear this bang, bang, banging on my door. I thought they were going to bang it down. And I turned off my vacuum cleaner and opened it. And it was an old friend of mine that had been a sergeant in the Army. And he said, they just blew up our buildings. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And he says, yeah, they just blew up the towers. And I had no idea what he was talking about. He said, turn on the TV, turn on the TV. So I stopped everything I was doing, turned on the TV, and sure enough, there was the one of the twin towers, on fire. So, and then they started talking about the other two planes. And I was like, oh my God. And I ran for my phone and he's like, wow, what's the matter? I said, my brother is on one of them planes. And I didn't know which one. And about that time I went to get my phone, somebody else called me and told me. I was like, I know. So I hung up from them and I called my sister-in-law in Massachusetts. And I asked her, I said, it was Dwayne on one of them planes. And she's like, yes, he was supposed to be. And at that time, all other communications, especially with the military, were down. You couldn't get out anywhere to anything like that because everything was like extremely low key. And so we had no idea for a long time if he was on one of them planes or not. He was supposed to have been on the one going to the Pentagon, but she thought he was going to get a break and be on the one that hit the towers because that's where he would have traded or switched planes to go on into Massachusetts, something like that. But anyway, it was a couple of hours before she called me back and said he missed his plane and he's okay. He was still in Alaska. I was like, what are you doing for Yule, by the way? Nothing. I'll probably make me a Yule log, and it depends on what the weather's going to be if I even do that. Because I don't normally like making them if I can't burn them. And I don't have an indoor fireplace like I used to have. All I have is my cauldron out back that I would have to burn it in, and I'm not going to sit out there in the freezing cold. I would like to make one. I thought about putting up a Yule tree. I've thought about a lot of things, but I probably won't do anything, Aiden. What are you going to do? There was a Harvard professor in chemistry that got popped with vials in his pockets, and his lab assistant was from China. I don't doubt that. The guy got arrested and his lab assistant deported because apparently she lied on her app and said she actually came from the People's Liberation Army. Oh, hell. I never heard about all that. And this particular professor was getting money from China and the U.S. Defense Department. Huh. Yeah, I saw that second plane hit. Really traumatizing to see all those people died right there on TV. Yeah, it was that was absolutely horrible. And so was the Murrah bombing here in Oklahoma City. I mean, and like I said, that idiot didn't even kill any of his target was the state building where, the FBI and all those, government officials and offices are. And there happened to be a daycare center right across the street. And or at the bottom of the building. I think there might have been one across the street and one at the bottom of the building that took care of the officers' children while they were at work, something like that. I don't remember exactly how it went, but there was a daycare center right there, and it killed a bunch of them kids. I'm buying myself quite a bit of stuff because I need some new clothes. Yeah. Yeah, I probably need to get some new clothes too now. I don't know. I spend so much money on my witchy stuff that I don't usually buy anything else per se for myself. Like if somebody says, "Well, what can I get you for your birthday or Christmas?" or if they just want to give me something, I'll say, "There's these candles I want," or this crystal that I want. I don't I don't know. I was only 11 years old when 9/11 happened. I remember because I was in school when it happened. Yeah. It's a pretty sad day, I tell you. Oh, that was just horrible. Hmm. And not to mention all the firemen and policemen and everybody else that died trying to save, some of them people. Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a direct attack. And I seriously, honestly believe that we were fixing to go to war big time. Um, I just knew we was fixing to have like, World War III. Yeah. Yeah, this pandemic is pretty rough. I mean, and it's so hard to tell people because a lot of them aren't going to listen. They always think they know better than the people that are in charge and the people that have lived their lives, dealing with dangerous and infectious diseases. And got this person sitting home on their ass on the couch all day that thinks they know more than somebody sitting up at the FDA. So, well, I ain't gonna wear that mask. Don't wear it. Stay in your house. Yeah. Um, I'll be the first to admit they're not comfortable. Um, they are kind of hard to breathe in, but wouldn't you rather just not be able to breathe? Just for a little bit. It's not like you can't go away from people and take it off, take you some good breaths and put it back on. And it's not like it suffocates you anyway. It's just you breathe a little harder. But yeah, they're not comfortable, but it beats, laying in a hospital bed to where you can't breathe at all. And there's nothing anybody can do for you except stick a ventilator down your throat and hope you live through it. So um, I'm not one to tell you to wear a mask, but if you come around one of my grandkids without a mask on, I might be pretty upset. Just, if you want to go contract everything in the world, go ahead, go for it. But you ain't gotta, potentially infect somebody else. Some people say, oh, it's not as bad as they say. Okay, look at the death statistics every day, every single day. At least 4 or 5,000 people die. Now, granted, there's a lot more that are surviving it. When it first came out, they were like, well, it's deadly. If you catch it, you're dead. That's what everybody thought. But it's a lot of people are surviving it. It's just like an extremely horrific, really bad flu. So, you know, the FDA and people up there in the medical field try to keep in check and the best way to deal with infectious diseases. And, of course, when this first came out, nobody knew what in the world it was, whether it was airborne, touch, how you contracted it. Nobody knew. They had a lot of research, and I got to give them credit. In no time, they've found the problem, they've dealt with it, and now there's a vaccine for it. You got to really look at these people that aren't wearing masks and say, oh, I'm not going to get it because I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. Yeah. But yet it's okay for them to at least spread it to others, violating one of the commandments about, yeah. Yep. Yeah. I just I never could understand that. I probably have almost $600 worth of tarot and oracle cards. Damn, Aiden. What are you doing? I only have one deck. That's one I use. And I'll use it till it wears smooth out. Now, I did see an oracle deck that I'd like to have, but I just don't need to spend the money on it right now. Hopefully, here in the next couple of weeks, I'll start my new job. Hopefully. Of course, like I said, this is a really bad time to be in healthcare. Ugh. Yeah, Aiden, that's a little bit too much, my dear. I thought I was bad about collecting stuff. I mean, I think what I have the most of is probably stones, but you can't hardly help that. There's like thousands of them anyway. Stones and incense. I usually have a shit ton of crystals, I don't know. I think I'm gonna bake some cookies tonight. I think. I need to figure out something really nice to do for one of my neighbors. They came over. I probably already told y'all this the other day and brought I don't know how many boxes of food over here. I mean, thank goodness, I actually had plenty of food, but I don't think there's such a thing. And of course they know me. That's probably why they brought it to me, but I was going to give some to my daughter. Well, I have a roommate that hates the smell of incense, so I've been burning a lot more candles. Ooh. I wouldn't like that, Aiden. Not being able to burn my incense. A window shop on Amazon. I do too. Except my problem is I think, oh, I gotta have it. I gotta have that. Now that I've seen it, so I'll figure out a way to get it. Oh. Aiden, look at it this way. Look at these people and some of them in the community that have over 400 tarot decks. Yeah, that's just absolutely ridiculous. Aiden's going to get there if you don't cut it out. Because it shows me all the things I can't afford. I know, but it doesn't send you notifications saying, here, click on this, Aiden. You need to see this, Aiden. Buy this, Aiden. Your finger does that clicking. I'm bad about it too. I know how you feel. I mean, I see all kinds of stuff and I want it. And I usually find a way to get it. I just can't right now. I mean, with Christmas coming up and I've got all these bills and I'm not working, actually, working out of the home right now. So I just can't afford it. I wish I could, but I can't. This off here for it. Okay. Aiden, here's a thought. Why don't you go and get a little humidifier diffuser with some essential oils, fill it with water and a few drops of oils? Yeah, that's true. Evidently, his roommate don't like the smell, though, of any of it. And I don't know about everybody else, but the way I shop, I can get, I think last time I got like 12 boxes of incense that had 6 rolls, separate little containers in each box, and each one of those little rolls had 126 incense in there. So I don't even know how many altogether that is, but they weren't that bad. I mean, I think it cost me $60 total, but that'll last me pretty much all year. Yeah, you make a lot of stuff. Yeah, you can make your own little cone incense too if you wanted to, with herbs and stuff like that. I made my calendula oil. I've got it in there sitting, steeping. Can't wait to get that one finished so I can do some stuff with that oil. Ears itching. But yeah, I got to go tomorrow and turn all my paperwork and stuff into this lady, and then I got to go Friday so she can get my background check done and all that, and then I got to go Friday and get yet another COVID test because you have to have one before you go to work in the medical part of it. Essential oils aren't as strong about the equivalent of the candles he's burning unless he's burning ones that have no scent. Yeah. I don't know. Some of the essential oils that I've gotten, they were stronger than the candle. I've been listening to a psychiatrist who almost became a Hindu monk, and I've been getting into that spiritually a little bit too. Well, good. Is that helping you? I mean, I know that you haven't been in a very good frame of mind lately, so if it works, keep doing it. Whatever works for you. I think when I get off here, I'll probably put on my meditation stuff. Sometimes I don't per se meditate. I'll just listen to it, or I'll put it on as I'm going to sleep. And of course, it's all usually chants to Hecate and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I have a crystal ball and it's awful small, but Reagan brought me back a mason jar full of ocean water, put a candle behind it, and there you go, instant death. Yep, there you go. Yeah, I just do the best I can. I'm really fighting taking any kind of medication. Yeah, I understand that, Aiden. This is, sweetheart, I know I probably don't have to tell you this, but this is when you need to really sink into your craft. I mean, there's really so much the craft can offer that can give you peace. Actually, it may be the saltpeter or the sulfur charcoal that they used. Father's and roommate. Saltpeter. Like I said, go get you one of those little humidifiers with a few drops of oil in it, and there you go. Yeah, just stick it in your room and sit in your bedroom. You don't have to put it out in the living room where he can smell it or whatever, or she. Or what you can do is fill up a pot of water, and they have that cinnamon water you can get almost at. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of times I'll just go get a bunch of herbs and boil them on my stove. It just smells so good. I love it. Actually fill up a pot of water, put some of that Fabulo in it. So hello. Yeah. 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 I'll be right back, you guys. Keep hearing something like it's on my back patio, and a lot of times this guy in the alley behind me will work on his trailer at night, and that's what I'm hearing, but I don't know. I should go pot of water, get some that. You can go to Goodwill and get those little coffee cup warmers, get a little glass bowl that's pretty thick and stand the heat. A few drops in, I do all the time. Personally, I know I really should get meditation. It was suggested that I combine lapis and clear quartz. She had earlier said I should work with the train. So I just combine it with amethyst and did. Yeah, yeah. I'm because I'm not that good at it either, Lady Blonde Wolf. I mean, that's why I'll put it on as I'm going to sleep. Because when I'm already really tired, my brain slows down a little bit, and I'm more apt to relax. And it's pretty good to go to sleep by. Of course, I can't do it when my old man's home because it keeps him up. So, I mean, I do have earplugs I can use. Yeah, I think I'm I mean, I'm better than I was. I've been working on meditating, but I'm just too high strung, I guess. My brain's always going 1,000 miles an hour, and um, I just can't seem to keep it quiet and on one thing. I think a lot of that comes from being in the medical field all my life too, because you definitely have to be a multitasker. A lot going on most of the time, so. But I think that's why I find when I don't have anything to do, when I'm just sitting here, I'll get extremely, I get more nervous. It's like I don't have anything to do, you know. I gotta have shit to do. So I don't know. I don't know. Well, I've been on here an hour and 45 minutes. What's wrong with me? I have cats out there that I feed too now, so I think that's what I'm hearing out there jumping around on my patio furniture. But anyway, anything else y'all want to talk about, or did Aiden leave? I gotta wash my hair and may wait and do that when I get up. I'm gonna go there tomorrow afternoon and give her that stuff. And ow, got a spot on my back that itches and I can't reach it. Okay, Aiden, we love you, man. Anytime you want to talk, just message me. Message me on Facebook or whatever, okay? Okay, yeah, I guess I better get off here. I've been on here for almost 2 hours. So I'll talk to you another time, Lady Blind Wolf. Y'all be good. Blessed be.